What up, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to episode 1 of the Black Boys Own podcast, where we will be bringing you conversation once a month for now, but maybe multiple times a month in the future. Shout out to you all joining in the Facebook chat. I'm going to be joined by one of my favorite, I guess you could say students, but friends. What's up, Da Vinci Brown? Yo, yo, yo. One of my favorite members of Black Boys Own, somebody who I met a while ago and just really admired their passion, somebody who we connected with. We both connected really together over the love of yoga, but also over the love of the Black community and building ourselves in the Black community as people, right? Trying to make it so that we're the ones who are healing other people and not so much looking to outside sources to be better folks. And so that person is Daye. Shout out to Yoga Every Day, Ty's company that specializes in bringing yoga to the inner city youth in Newark, New Jersey, but also around the world. Ty is the first Black yoga instructor in Newark, New Jersey. That is a Black male yoga instructor. What's good? Afro Yoga in the chat. And so it's always great to, get his perspective. I, having been one of the first Black yoga instructors in my area, or that I knew, it was, I felt like I would be the only one. And so seeing Ty was something that really gave me an opportunity to remember times when there wasn't very much more Black male yogis that you knew, right? And so as a part of Black Boys Own, this is why this started, was to give more space for men like Ty and myself. And so Ty is about to come on. Let's get him on. Let's see. It looks like he's trying to go live. Boom. And we'll get this party started. Ty. Hello. How you doing, bro? Are you tapping in? What's up, Miss Cheryl? I think Ty's having a little trouble with his Wi-Fi. Well, hold tight. I'm sure that it'll come around. And we'll get started. What I wanted to talk about today was just this podcast in general, catch up with Ty, see how things are going, and give you some things to look forward to as we come back around for next time. I think Ty's signal is just not good. Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah, sorry, Michelle. Do you have any questions in the chat? There are 9 of us in the room. What's up, y'all? If you have any questions, any comments, anything that you want to ask of me about Black Boys Own, or anything that you want to ask just of Black men in general, Black yoga teachers in general, drop them in the chat. Let me see if I can connect with Ty to get signals a little bit better. We'll see if we can get this party popping. But yeah, so what we're going to do with this podcast, or time really monthly to speak, is just to give you an update on what's going on with Black Boys Own. Give you an opportunity to speak with us and, ask for things, or maybe ask different questions. Let us know the things that you're working on with yoga, or things that you think that need to happen in the yoga community. As the largest body of Black male yoga instructors, we need to know. We need feedback from our people. So let us know, what would you like to see? What would you like to, hey, what's up, One Love Fest? Shout out to you guys. What kind of things do you like to see in our community, right? For instance, we had no idea that there would be such a huge draw for people watching yoga online. And so in starting yoga online and teaching classes through our YouTube channel, through this channel, we were able to teach over 200 some odd classes and hundreds of students this past summer. Also employ our instructors. Just figuring out ways to respond to what the community needs is what we specialize in, right? And so whatever you're looking for, please feel free to reach out, let us know. It's a really big passion project for me in life, like in general, just to be there and to be 400, excuse me, Danny. Yeah, 400 folks, 400 classes, excuse me. It's just been a huge thing for me to be able to offer these solutions to folks that I know need them. And so it's you who gives us those ideas, Danny just let people sign up, and they came through. I see the questions coming in. Thank you for dropping the questions. Drop more questions in. Let's see. As you drop your questions in, I'll keep a tally, but I don't want to waste any more time as we got the homie Ty in here. How you doing, Ty?
I'm good. I was saying that I was good. Your phone froze on me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, here you are now. I'm happy that you're in here.
What's good? How you doing? How's your health? How's your spirits?
Oh man, life is good. All is well. I keep things pretty steady. I like to think. Sometimes they're up and down, but it's been good so far. It's been good these last few weeks. These last few weeks.
Dope.
I see you tapped in from your yoga everyday page. Tell me about that.
So I needed to do a business page. Granted, everybody sees what my personal page looks like. I have a array of things from me doing motivational speaking, from me doing hit training, from me doing yoga, from me just doing community service within the community. So I told myself that outside of me just doing the crazy headstands and inversions that people see, I think it's time to do tutorials on how I got into those headstands. How do I sit there and do my hit training? How do I do my Reiki, my meditation? So Yoga Everyday's business page is going to be more focused on the benefits of each pose, the benefits of doing hit training, the benefits of meditation, Reiki, life coaching. So as instead of seeing just the, let's say the pixel piece, but now you're just going to get the whole video and movie format on how I do things.
So it sounds like you got tutorials popping up. That's the way to go, bro. That's the way to go. I mean, your people who have seen you do this and are inspired by you really want to learn from you. And I think that's a lot of the things that we run into as yoga practitioners, which is funny. Is for those who don't know, Ty has been with Black Boys. Oh, it's been like 2 years now. How long has it been?
Nah, a year, bro. A
Yeah,
year and a
it
year and
feels
some change.
that's why it feels like it's been so long, especially with COVID. But Ty's been here for a while, and just having watched him come from a student who was just like, "Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that?" I just started to do this. I like doing this. To now taking that next step is refreshing for me. I can definitely say, and I think that it's really cool to see that this progressive steps that I took back in the day is still the way to go. Like you start practicing, and you realize, "Hey, I really like this," and then you start to learn. Because I really like it. And then it's like, well,
You're
I
so
want
silly.
to know. I want you to have that opportunity. What kind of tutorials like are you specializing in? Because I know that's one thing that you find that people do. Like I ended up doing inversions and rocket based stuff. Like, what are you looking? I know you said Reiki. You said a few different things. Like, what kind of stuff are you looking to offer to the community?
Well, for starters, we're just gonna break down just how yoga started, man. So I might start with just the traditional hatha, different poses within that, and then when it's time for me to get more advanced, then I'll go to some different rocket, Ashtanga poses and stuff like that. But I think we just need to start from the beginning before we even get into the crux of the matter. Like even before we get to like the apex poses and like the hard inversion pieces, like just doing a downward dog, just doing a pigeon pose, just doing a runner's lunge. Like we don't realize like being in those certain poses, what are we working on? Are we working on our lower spine? Or we sitting there shifting our hips, being a happy baby pose?
Right.
Are we doing like different variations? So even just like a regular a regular pose can have so many benefits, right? Everybody sees, for example, for inversions, right? If I was to ask you, Brandon, what does inversions mean to you? What would you tell me? And there's no right or wrong answer, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know. I would say inversions to me are opportunities to it's just funny, see things from a different perspective. Just feeling yourself upside down gives your blood a different kind of pattern of flowing, and so you feel different. You feel a little lightheaded. You feel a little happier. Inversions makes you feel grounded in a way that is almost like mentally grounded, like where it's not so much that you feel like you would in like mountain pose grounded, but more like because the head is close to the ground, you feel as if you're releasing any type of maybe mental tension that you might have and getting into a space where you're more open to kind of experience a mental shift, right? That's what it means to me.
Okay, well, actually, that's very accurate. but just to even veggie back off of you, yes, I said veggie back. I am vegan. I'm not gonna say piggyback. So I actually break inversion into two words: in and version. The reason why I do that, because I say you have to go within to get the better version of yourself. When everybody sees the poses that you're in on your page, or they always see the exterior factors, but they never see the interior makeup. If you're not at peace, if you're not within that form of practice, you'll never be able to get into that certain pose or that forearm balance or things of that nature, right? You got to have confidence in yourself. You got to feel like a kid again. Like, you got to be in that space. Like, if you fall, it's okay. Just fall forward and use that within yoga
Right.
and use that within life.
That makes sense to me. I think it's definitely something that brings out the best in people. I mean, when I first saw these random people, white folks mostly, but white women, random people that I didn't,
Oh
again,
my God.
back then, which is not, again, it's funny as I've gotten more into this space, I realized that a lot of those, or the abundance of white folks in my early classes was the lack of black folks. So I'm not mad at them, but my point is that in seeing them do something that I didn't think, we ever would have any type of similarity, the headstand seemed that much more foreign for me when I first saw it. Headstand, handstand, shoulder stand. That's some things they do. And so, what do you do to get people out of that mindset where it's not so much them looking at you as the person who's doing it, but as look at the action itself as something that they do? There's a lot of times I know, even if it's good, bad, like we could really like somebody, but wow, they're really just the only ones who can do that. We could really dislike folks or think that we're different from folks, not even dislike it, but think we're different and think, put these poses off on other people. How do you keep people involved in their own practice? And how do you plan to
Yeah.
do that on your page?
Well, it's crazy that you say that because that's how I was, right? When I was in the white dominated studios and everything like that, I always saw, especially it was women. It was not that many men in there, but every time I saw somebody getting into like a crow pose or a crane or TT Tadasana or something like that, and I'm like, yo, I want to do this. But it just felt like I wasn't prepared to be in that space yet, right? So it was to the point I was like, okay, I got something for y'all. Every time we finish class, we probably just be sweating. You know how it is in the studios and everything like that. While everybody's leaving, I'm already telling the owner, I'm not leaving yet. I'm having more playtime. I will stay right after class. They would have to kick me out of the studio until I was able to get a pose. Like, I would not leave until I was able to get a pose half right. And then every day I was just practicing. I was going to the gym. I was waking up doing poses. And it was to the point like yoga was bigger than me. And I was like, why am I even competing with people in my studio? The only person I'm competing is with myself. So after I got out of that space, I was like, you know what? I don't care if I master something anymore. I just want to have fun. So the objective with my page is just all about having fun. When you come out of a pose, laugh at it. If you fall out of a headstand, laugh, shake it off, and just get back and do it again. With every yogi that's looking at it right now, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progression. Always progress within your practice. Like, Brandon has been practicing longer than I have, but he's still a student. He still learns all the time. Like, I've been practicing for only a year, and I've only been teaching for 10 months. And granted, you see everything you see on my personal page, but I still have a lot to do. I have a lot of growing to do. And I even say that within my practice, but also as a black man. Like, I want to constantly continue to keep learning. The more vulnerable I get, the more open I get, the more spaces I stay in that are like-minded individuals with great energy, that makes my energy go up. That makes my healing better.
Sure, but how do you maybe convince one of those guys that's like, nah, man, this isn't for me? I know, like you said, you was the first dude coming out of Newark, first black dude in general, but maybe one of the fewer yoga teachers, I'm thinking. So how do you cross that barrier with others and get them committed? Like, I think that is one thing to show them, but like, how do you inspire others to come from themselves, to give more from themselves for them
Oh,
to have?
easy. That's actually the easy part now, because the fact that they see somebody from their neighborhood That now they all of a sudden want to do yoga. Oh, I know Ty, so I played Ty in basketball before, or I used to do track with Ty, or me and Ty used to turn up in the parties. He doing yoga. People see the growth, right? People see like where I came from and everything like that. And then all of a sudden I might get DMs or phone calls, Ty. Like I really have issues with my piece, or my flexibility is off. I really need to teach you, but I didn't think yoga was for me. And then as soon as they
Right.
come take my class, they feel like it's more than flexibility. It's a creative space that they can just be themselves. They're not being judged. They're not being belittled. And then now more black men are coming. And it's a beautiful experience just to sit there and have your own when you teach. And now even women, I would say I thought my biggest obstacle was going to be teaching black women because they, you know, what I mean, they already were in this space, right? So I didn't even know how they would feel having a black man teach. And then the fact that I always ask for permission, say if it's adjustment of their wrist or making sure they're aligned, they respect that so much because you know when you sit there and make sure you touch a woman in reference to the adjustment, you never know if you might have a trigger or the trauma they're going to when a black man touches them. So I've always asked for permission to make sure I do that. And that makes even more women to come to my class because like, yo, he's respectful. He respects my space. He holds me accountable. So
Yeah, so like it
go
sounds
ahead.
like you bring a sense of awareness of what the student needs to
Correct.
class, just based on their experience and then consideration. And that's something you don't see a lot, especially. I mean, I think that's an interesting thing about being a black man in general is that you have such an insight into what a black woman might have experienced. Not just a black woman, but like women, because black women get the worst experience. You now
Mm-hmm.
know, like white women, it can't. If I'm not, if I treat any woman the way that I'm know to treat a black woman in the right way, then any woman's gonna be like, wow, does you really care about what I'm going through, right? And so I think that that's a really refreshing thing to hear, from another male instructor. 'Cause I know I went through a huge period of time where I didn't give any assists just because I didn't want to make anybody uncomfortable and didn't want to go through the process of, becoming a therapist in a moment. And I think that is an interesting space to navigate, And so I'm really
Yeah.
happy that you found a way to do that online, and especially through with your yoga everyday page and influencing the people that you have inspired. I think that's a really really dope thing to have done and to be doing, and so I can commend you. I commend you. I commend you,
Thanks,
brother.
man. I appreciate it. I think it but I learned from y'all, right? So it's like the more the more I'm always in Black Boys Omo when I saw you in Rocket teaching and everything like that, or even Ahmed as well. Like I've learned so much from y'all. It made everything easier. So when I was teaching, I'm like, you know what? I'm humble enough to say I learned from Brandon. Or I'm humble enough to say I learned from Ahmed. I don't take credit for nothing. So
Yeah,
the more I constantly learn from yogis such as yourself, it makes it easier for me, and then I can put my own remix to it. You feel me? Because like while you're out where you're out, and I'm out in Jersey, everybody has a different type of personality and different type of perception. So I think when it just comes down to when women feel like they're being protected, even when a black male is teaching them, it's a great experience. You know what I'm saying? Because that even makes me become a better man. Even with a black man too. It's like when a black man feels like, oh, this brother's not going to judge me because I'm in this type of pose and this type of pose, or whatever my pronouns are, or stuff like that. They feel comfortable to know that a heterosexual man is actually giving them the type of love that they've been looking for, and I'm thankful to do that.
yeah. I think the interesting thing is that it more so seems to be about people to people. Which is one thing I liked about the yoga practice. I mean, it wasn't that I didn't learn anything from those white girls that I thought that headstand belonged to. It's more that once I realized that there's a lot less different between my arm and your arm, my shoulder and your shoulder, and how I like to be perceived and how I like to be treated, and what I think is important for people to consider when touching or being around me or telling me what to do. Like all of those things, there's consideration is what we want, and so there's a leveling that you find in a yoga class that's really hard to find elsewhere in the world, where people in our connection through humanity, through our bodies, through our existence, through breathing, through all of these things, that's what's mostly spoken to, not the things that separate us, right? Not the fact
Right.
that I'm a man and she's a woman, not the fact that she's been through something that I haven't, or I've been through something that she hasn't, or I speak this language and she doesn't speak it. And so, can you speak to how maybe yoga is like unified? Are you seeing it unify people in your neighborhood or in your community, or at least just the people that you've taught, or maybe something that I'm not aware of? And then we can
So
questions. People are dropping questions. Before we keep going, there's a bunch of people in here. Make sure you drop your questions. At the bottom, we're going to go through them next. So please be sure any questions you have for me or Ty, we can answer. But yeah, go ahead, brother.
oh no, I was pretty much just gonna say, so I created this thing out here called Yogi Fest.
Yeah.
Yogi Fest has never been done in New Jersey. So I gave the opportunity for our culture to come together and experience what yoga is. But we did more than just yoga, right? We had poetry, right? We had black vendors, we had musicians and stuff like that. I want people to know that yoga is an art and it's created with all other arts. But not only that, the best piece about it that I had all black women teach. I didn't even teach because my name's already on it, right? So I asked all black women that are yoga instructors to come out and teach, and it brought so much. It brought so many people from different areas. You're talking about Newark, you're talking about Orange. Let's talk about DC. Let's talk about Philly. Let's talk about Maryland. Let's talk about Virginia. Let's talk about North Carolina. Like people came in droves. I had somebody all the way from Atlanta to come just to Jersey to teach. I had somebody come all the way from the Texas. He took a flight just for the weekend, just to come teach out here, just to build the black community up. And now since then, I had 3 so far in a back to back to back. And now everybody's waiting what's going on next year. And the thing about it is now all of a sudden we have women and men that were never even interested in yoga that's saying, look, I can't wait for the next event. When can I take your class? When I want to be able to see this black woman again? And what it was, the best thing about it is I made it not about me. Make sure you follow this woman. Make sure you follow this woman. I just want to show you how big our community is. Like black excellence is everywhere. We're not sitting here trying to be in competition with each other. We're trying to collaborate, especially make sure our women have a platform that they know black men are going to sit there and put them on. I feel as we're all equals. So since then, Brandon, I kid you not, the whole community has been changing. Like everybody's been wanting to take my classes. Ironically, I'm driving to DC next weekend just to come teach a class.
I didn't know that. Where are you teaching?
I'll send you the flyer. Last time I was out there, I was on the lawn mall.
One just for you, just straight up.
Pardon?
I said you just teaching one on your own?
Actually, a third party booked me to come out there.
Ah, that's cool.
So
how are they gonna do it? It's cold.
Oh well, no. They said I think they found a studio or a building that they could do it in. So they're gonna have an Eventbrite. I'm gonna send the information out so all the DC DMV folks come out, like they can see how Jersey rocking. And I'm just thankful to give back, and even in your neighborhood. And you better come.
Hey, look, no man, I'm ready. I know I've been trying to stay out of stuff just because of COVID and everything, but I took a class in Houston or when I get a chance to. So send me the info and I'll definitely check it out for sure. I'll definitely check it out. Let me see. I got some questions in the chat. I will ask these questions. We'll go through them. If you have questions.
Brandon, somebody just said Delaware would have been there had I've known. Oh, it's next weekend. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Nah, she meant they meant for your Yogi Fest. Is what they were.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but let me see. I got a few hellos. I got always, and y'all don't understand how great it is to kind of hear you drop, a hello or a little emoji or whatever in the chat or whatever. So thank you for asking questions if you did. The first one I got was, do you only have men on podcasts? How do you choose them? Well, this is our first podcast. We're still kind of working it out. I don't think that would be something that we only do, but I think that we're focusing specifically on black men and black boys at home. So majority of the people that you hear on this podcast will be black men. But there's always opportunity, for us to do something special. So if you're interested in chatting, we definitely can. Afro Yoga, just to give you a shout out, we do have a black woman who asked the question, did ask that question.
Afro.
Yeah, she got the Mastermind Conference coming up. That's about yoga and business. And I think that rolls into this next question, which is, will or has Black Boys Own considered offering business classes for yogis? We've considered it, but I think our main focus is not to be entrepreneurial guys, but more so to be guys of your practice. And so, yes and no. But I would say check out the Mastermind Yoga Conference, where you will have plenty of opportunity to learn about how you can better your entrepreneurial endeavors in the yoga field, which is something that is good to take advice on, right? It definitely is. And so thank you for the question. And then the next one I see is, are you working with Black teens? I think the answer is yes. You want to take that one, Ty?
Yes, even before I get into that, I actually do want to shout out Afro Yoga. She reached out to me just in reference to getting the word out. I love what she's doing. I love how she's just bringing all these beautiful spirits together. I love it. Afro Yoga, you are doing a phenomenal job, and just know Black Boys Own will forever be here for you if you need us. So I just want to drop her a line real quick. In reference to teens, yes, I teach from 5 years old all the way into college. So anybody can get it. I actually just taught a group of high school students on Tuesday, virtually, of course, because of the pandemic and COVID. But yes, and I think catching them at high school is very important, because now I have students to be like, Mr. Daye, yo, my teacher's so aggy. I need to come to your room. I need to come to the room and do yoga. It's so funny because they're not even like embedded in the practice, but they know how it makes them feel.
Yeah.
So if it's making them feel like this is something they want to benefit from, it's best to catch them within that freshman to senior year before they go into college. They actually are, yeah. So I definitely teach teens as well.
Yeah, same. I found that they're one of the easier ones to teach. Between my like 14 and 15-year-olds to my like second grader, like first, second grade. Third grade gets kind of no. Third grade's cool too. About fifth grade, they're like, I don't care about this. Like, I want to run around. I mean, they can, but it's different. There is an ease that comes with teaching kids that is really nice. You know, I think a lot of times even teaching adults can be tiring in a way. And I love, shout out to y'all on the chat, but adults come with a lot of distractions. And kids might have one or two, but, kind of getting through that comes with just taking a deep breath a lot of the time. They just don't know how to cope. And so
it's true.
That I do love is teaching children and children. Yeah, it's funny. I'm 30 now, but I mean, it feels like, calling an 18 or 19-year-old a child is appropriate. Like they really don't know, what life has to offer a lot of the times. When they just take a breath. So it's really dope. It's really dope. I'm happy to hear that you're teaching. And Black Boys Own, to answer the question broadly, does teach kids and teens. We have class. Well, we had a teenage teacher actually. What's good, Rich? Rich is joined. We just had a teacher about 16, 17, I think. One of the youngest.
17.
There you go. Yoga teachers, and he lives in Hawaii, right? Like, doesn't he live like?
Yeah, I think he lives in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken.
He's got like this dope afro and like surfs, I think, and
he's a whole vibe. I call him the yoga. I call him the yoga Bruno Mars.
Yeah, he's like Bruno Mars plus a yoga mat plus like you. And so yeah, the kid is cool. And he's a teacher. So yeah, we definitely love to engage teens. Anybody that's really Tabay,
Tabay.
Anybody look up Tabay, Tabay, if you're listening in the future. But yeah, Tabay is one of our pride and joy. So yeah, he's a young teacher, and we definitely try to look towards having as many inputs from the Black male experience that we can. Some of those are young, some of those are old, some of those are medium age, some of those are inexperienced, some of those are experienced. So we try to do anything that we can to include voices that you might not hear, because Black voices, especially Black men's voices, a lot of the times get overshadowed. And Danny's dropping in the chat. He said he's about to special guest teach at the Academy Phase 2. 17-year-old teacher's phenomenal, said Mixed Magic. Thank you, Mixed Magic. Yeah, he was
beautiful.
Day before us. I remember when I first started teaching, I saw this kid. I'm like, why is this 13-year-old kid getting pressed? I'm just trying to get a yoga class. And I'm looking up, and I saw him then. And so it's really amazing to have made this a full circle kind of experience where he's, he's a part of Black Boys Own, part of the community, and you know, just doing his thing. Because I mean, it's only so I'm only gonna look this young for so long, and so we need guys like him that are gonna bring, you know, more yoga to places where it's needed. You know, yeah. So did you have anything, Ty? Anything you wanted to chat about? Anything on your mind?
So couple things, right?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
actually about to release my clothing line next
Okay.
week. I'm so happy about it. I'm actually wearing one of the hoodies now. Guess I'm gonna show everybody.
Yeah.
A
Let me see.
lot of people been asking about this hoodie. Pretty much it says 50% namaste, 50% you got me fucked up. Can I curse on here? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Danny, don't kill me. But that's exactly what it says. And it actually has Black Boys Ohms piece of the logo on there.
Ah,
And
that's it.
yeah,
Now stand up on the
yeah.
camera. So
Okay, let me bring it up just a little bit so you can see it.
okay.
50.
Okay. I see the Om. I see the Lotus. Nice.
Yeah, so everybody's been asking about this hoodie. I've been selling it all. Oh Lord, look, here it come, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you follow me on Yoga Every Day and also my personal page, IAMTYDAYE. That's IAM. I'll just put it in the chat so y'all can
Yeah.
see it. But yeah, I can't wait. The other one is going to be called When the Praises Go Up, Blessings Come Down. I'm just so thankful because I got a couple other things that I want to talk about, right? I got a book that's about to come out next year that I'm gonna release in reference to. Yeah, that's happening. I got another couple projects that I'm gonna be working with Black Boys Own. Of course, Danny and Brandon, we all just releasing this podcast. This is our first one. But to be honest, Joe, I don't actually want to make it about me. Let's just talk about how all the Black Boys Own brothers, how the community is, Brit B. I think they don't realize that how much of a big channel, a big network really we have. We got people all around the U.S., even out of the country. Like Brandon, they don't even know how many people we have.
We do. I mean, I think, and I mean, even speaking on that, of course, you can talk about Black Boys Own, over 200 black men across the world, 200 some odd. I'm really bad with numbers. Danny doesn't shoot me or something, but you know, across the world, working. You know what I'm saying? Putting in work in order to be able to bring yoga to black men in other spaces that are ignored. I think for me, it's so interesting. 250 plus. There we go. It's so interesting for me because it's almost like some days I don't recognize how large it is, but that's the beauty of it, right? It's not something that I think for us is like cloud. Like it's really not like we have 90 locations. 90 locations on 5 continents. Like it's more so I
Jesus.
can rest easy knowing that if I have an issue, I can go to a group of brothers that got my back. You know, that's so much bigger, but so much more intangible than the numbers that we're mentioning. So Black Boys Home, I mean, yeah, it's huge, right? We're like you said, we're 250 plus countries, 5 continents, 250 plus members, 90 locations, 5 continents, and we all pretty much talk and chat and interact. But I think what the biggest part is of the group is not its size, but its existence, right? The fact that it's there, the fact that we're looking for more members always. It's free to join, free for you to take class, free for you to practice with us online, free for you to share. And so that's really what we're about. You know, is really just providing the service, giving the yoga class. Shout out to all y'all dropping links in there. I mean, dropping your emojis in there. Any more questions that you got, we love to answer. I could always, of course, talk about Black Boys Home forever. But I think that it's always good to interact with folks that are live that can really, you know, keep me from going on and on and on.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, what do you, what? Let's ask, my phone was cutting out. What else do you want to see from Black Boys Own? Like, what are some events that you want us to pull up to, or events that you want us to create since we are a group of black men? Like, what are some programs that you want to see? Do you want to see conferences? Do you want to see conventions? Like, what do you think? Do you want to see retreats? Of course, when COVID clears up, of course. Like, what do you want to see Black Boys Own do? Because to be honest, there's no limit to us. We don't even see the sky at the limit. We passed the sky already. We just want to find ways to bring more value into the community. What I think Danny and Brandon did, they just created a space that you know, we're not even in cars no more. We're in spaceships. Like we're freaking in a universe, just traveling to different planets, learning about different spirits and stuff like that. Like I think it's just to the point that that we could do whatever we want. So if y'all want to see Black Boys Own, if y'all have any questions that y'all want us to do anything like that, please let us know. It says you are made of the stars, so how could the sky ever be the limit? Yo, who is Danny? Who is Danny? Danny, you can't be
Danny got
spitting bars from the background, Danny.
the quote, G. Danny said, "If you are made of stars, so how could the sky ever be the limit?" I'm wondering who said that. Drop.
Oh, there he is. Your service went out. Your
My
service
mom.
went out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was my FaceTime. My mom called. She had to. She's been.
Well, Brandon, how about you let everybody know your class schedule? Because I know a couple people were telling me in my DM some people want to take your class. Like, how can they reach you with your class
Yeah,
schedule?
I don't even understand. My class schedule is like non-existent right now. Like y'all don't understand. I've been in this game for a long time, and so this COVID opportunity has been wonderful. I've been able to stop teaching. I actually have not. You know what? That's not true. I have taught pretty much since the beginning of COVID. But it's been like how I want to do it, if that makes sense. So at the beginning, I taught classes live, took donations and stuff, dropped them on my YouTube. So if you do want to teach or practice with me, I have like a good like 15, 20 videos on YouTube. You could practice. I'm already dropping stuff during, I'm trying to drop more stuff. I have recently like just forgotten about my Instagram, so I'm not doing like as much on there. Like I've been trying to just leave it all alone. But I have been teaching privately. So I did, of course, the July training, which was good, and then I'm continuing that now, doing more like suture talks and training that's a lot less about the physical practice and more about like what does yoga mean or why are we practicing, So I'm scheduling that. So yeah, if you like my classes, my friends, I'm sorry. I'm not teaching them live for a little while. I actually, low key, that's not true either. I've been doing like little trap. I might going back and forth. I've been doing trap yoga classes. I'll probably do a couple this month. I was supposed to meet with my team today, but just didn't. So I'm just really, honestly, I am living like a true yogi. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I'm going with pragmatically with what makes sense in the moment and in my breath and going with that. So I would say if you want something reliable, do not look at me in this moment. Go to YouTube, check that. Go to my YouTube, Brando Flow. If you look up Yoga with Brando on YouTube or YouTube.com/Brando Knows. Trust me, those classes are good. I took one the other day, which you should do if you haven't taught. Take one of your own classes because you just realize it's so interesting to practice to yourself in a way that like you have to hope that you're going to be a nice person. Like you have to hope that in the class you weren't a dick, or weren't like off or talking too much about yourself because it's really something to taste your own medicine. So that's something that I would suggest. I wanted to put up videos early on so that you all get a chance to practice and I get a chance to rest. And so that's kind of it, like that's it. Yeah, and shout out to Afro Yoga. She's
Yo,
dropping.
shout out to Afro Yogi. Yo, Afro Yoga. Look, we just gave you a shout out. I don't know if you heard it. Like, we appreciate you for just putting all this black excellence on just on this platform, man. You are a beautiful spirit. We appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you do. And just know, like I said before, Black Boys Zone will forever have your back. And this is only the beginning. Anytime you need us, we're here for you. Like I said, we support our sisters, we support black women, we're protecting black women. And just know we got your back tenfold. Keep doing what you're doing, Queen.
Yes, we do.
Hey,
Yes, we do.
Brandon, what I was going to say is, it's so funny. So, a fun fact while other people come to my class, right? I always start like this. I say, I'm not your typical yoga teacher, right? I'm not the person that's going to be talking like I'm in a dry eyes commercial. Oh, please sit there and just ground your feet down into
Or
the
even worse,
mats.
person that like thinks that they're enlightened.
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Your nose and feel like,
Listen, I'm not that guy. What you see is what you get. I'm going to speak to you regular. However, I do my research. I do my history. Of course, we're going to educate you within the class, but we're also going to have fun. Everything doesn't need to be serious, right? Like, we got to stop. We got to get out of that mentality that yoga always got to be by the book. No, it doesn't. We create what we want to create, even though we got to sit there and do things within the practice. Of course, we don't want to go away from the formalities, but at the end of the day, we're still human, and
well,
we're black.
you know
We do
what,
our own things. Do you think?
balance there? I mean, I think that what we can inject into the practice is going to be exactly what the practice kind of pulls out of us, which is such an interesting way to think about it, but a very consistent thing that seems to happen in this
Brandon,
practice.
look at my face. Do you
Right.
think the father of yoga was doing trap?
No, not at all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that as someone who went on the edge that you're talking about going on now, I'm saying that while all of that is still there, trap yoga is simply yoga with trap music. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you could change the real aspect of the practice. I think that what the beautiful thing that what we have is our blackness, and that way that we are able to see what's real behind the trap, right? Behind whatever that is. And so I'm not saying any of that to say, hey, we need to go read a book. Of course, what I'm saying is that I think we like to work almost backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost weird. Like, even if you look at black folks now, right? We took the worst possible food that you could get, soul food. Ugh, awful. So, I mean, it's not awful. It tastes delicious, but like what it was when it first came out was the scraps of everything. And we changed it. And now, in being conscious of that, we went from trying to change the worst products to be something that we can agree with, to now most black folks that I know that are talking about the new black movement is like you, vegan, and talking about doing things that are what blah blah blah. So it's like we're not going to get away from the root of yoga, by being creative and unique. And so, but I think that if we think about that first, then we won't necessarily feel as if we have to be so different than what the practice is in its original. I have actually a question that somebody asked me, said, where did yoga come from? It was one of the earliest questions, let me see, that we had. Where did yoga come from? And I think that's something that should be spoken to. I mean, yoga was started, from what I understand, by the Dravidians in like what was Ethiopia, that was like India. But at the time, it wasn't like you see in a map where it's split up. It's India, Ethiopia, or Africa, or the African, like those dominating civilizations stretch from the tip of India, where you see still today dark-skinned like Indians, right, who became a part of India, right, all the way up to Ethiopia, right? And so you had this huge swath of people that were practicing yoga, that were doing it in a way that wasn't as hour based as ours is, right? But we're doing it more so for just spiritual experience and just exploration of the body, right? Health and wellness. And so I think that we like to think that we have, like, trap yoga was something that was catchy for our community, but we could have got yoga without it. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that we have to
That's a
own.
fact.
And I think that in exploring, like, where I love that we can, not worry about the traditional stuff as much. I think that what we, in my mind, as someone who created something that was very away from tradition, it was to get you closer to it. It wasn't really so that you could replace it. And so that's why I say what I said, is to make sure that we understand that we're worthy of the original text just like everybody else. It's just, we have different experiences that make the value of those things, not how the Sanskrit sounds or how, like, good we look in a pose, but like really what the actual spiritual change is. That's what we need to know. That's what black people really need. So yeah, shout out to y'all, shout out to us. And hold on, let me see. I have a few questions.
Bars.
I have only done private. I haven't been teaching. Shout out to y'all for not teaching. And COVID, although it kind of sucks. I mean, it sucks. I mean, I tell you, I taught
It
a class.
does.
I did teach a class during COVID outside. Nobody, from what I understand, contracted COVID from it, so thank God for that. But it's something you worry
Amen.
about. But in being outside, it was so good to see people again. Like, just see people. you forget, like, I mean, we all have kind of, I think, gotten out of touch with groups of people because nobody's been in really big groups, but you forget what it's like to actually just, like, I don't say command, but like instruct an entire group of people and see their faces and, you know, have them move through the practice in a way that's unified. Like that was, yeah, I mean, so shout out to you all if you are teaching because it sucks to not have to. Yes, COVID have us licensed to teach and how we want to. That's right. That is true. Somebody just said COVID has us teaching how and when we want to. And I think that that is one thing that I love about this is because it doesn't make sense at this point to teach for anybody else. And I realized that a long time ago, and slipped back into the trap of hiring other people to teach for me, which I think was necessary for them because a lot of them weren't as entrepreneurial minded. So a lot of people would come to me and say, "Hey, can I teach for you?" And so it wasn't like that. But I think it's really cool to see people empowering themselves to do it by themselves. Like it's like I did, you know, like just do it. You just got to do it. And so, what have you noticed for even people that are watching that might be on there, like they worked at a studio 10 months ago, but now they don't? Like, what has it been like to start yoga every day and to kind of get this process rolling?
Oh man, it's been beautiful because I like I was so even just with the yoga process, hold on, somebody just said something. We will make the practice lifestyle our own and we will make it look better than is presented by the others in the Western country. And this will propel jealousy and envy and project is right. Ooh, that's deep.
Well, yeah, I
That's
mean,
deep.
I think that to speak to that, I think that I think what this practice is the leaders the way that this practice is allowing us to be compared to other things that we have fought for equality in the past is that there's no need to even worry about this shit. Like for me, it's like what they're saying. We of course we already know like yoga for us we bring spirituality in everything that we do. You know, like I think that or like speaking to the fact that there will be hate and racism. Yeah, I mean of course that's everything we touch. Yo. So it's like I think with this practice because the ego is so not a part of it not even patting yourself on the back for the fact that they're going to hate on you is really that's the next level up. Where it's not like in hip hop or in art or in anything else really. We know they like fashion, for instance. We know as soon as you put something out, they coming for it. And we're like, oh no, I gotta protect my stuff and blah blah, blah make some money from it. For this, it's like what they don't understand. I think what isn't spoken on is this isn't sales. I mean, we might have sales around it. You buy a class, but like if I change your life, what can I? You know, what is the draw? It's not that you like my product. You know what I'm saying? It's that you're inspired by someone who looks like me, and your mind has changed, your attitude has changed, your spirit has changed. So getting caught up in whether you're gonna be racist now it's not my problem. Like for instance, when I started trap yoga, there was Y7 yoga studio, this white yoga studio that popped up. That was like, I mean, I think they might have been even doing it around the same time. But it's like hip hop yoga classes, and yeah, you're always gonna get bitten. But like, I feel like the beauty of this practice and what we're doing here is that we don't even have to worry about that. Like it's like the Nile worrying that you're taking a cup of water. And they're like, damn, you're taking water from my shit. It's like I'm not worried about nobody being racist or being upset or being like I don't have time to make that the platform upon which I stand is noticing that these people are doing what they always do. Like, nah, I'm just gonna do it. And I think that that's what the liberating thing is for us. We don't always have to be on watch. You got to offer and give, and it cannot be taken for granted because yoga is just like that. I'm just sitting here talking to you. You listen or you don't. But if you do listen and you enact it in your life, at least within this time that you hear my voice, you'll be blessed. And so I think that intangible is something that we've never really had to use. Is always, I mean, we have in the church, I guess, but you know, that's what it is. So
I don't
yeah,
even want to take it there. I was going to say I don't even want to take it there, Brent, because like at the end of the day, I had a client that actually I was teaching a class and it was a husband and a wife. And then when I usually before I start any of my classes, I ask everybody just to introduce themselves and just to say what brings you to yoga today. And well, this lady was like, well, I'm such and such. I'm a Christian woman, and my husband, he's Christian too, and we believe in God. And I heard that yoga has all these different spiritualities and how you as a Christian man teaching yoga. I was like, well, funny, you should ask. How about let me tell you? How about this? I serve one master, but I study all. Just because I believe in God doesn't mean I can't read the Quran. That doesn't mean I can't sit there and read the Enlightenment of Buddha. You know what I'm saying? These books, if you, like I said, we always say, if you want to hide something from a Negro, put it in a book. What makes me better than the next person? Because I can't sit there and read somebody else. I'm still going to be black. I'm still going to be Christian. I'm still going to be Baptist. But that doesn't change the fact that I still want to learn about other spiritualities. So I need people to get out of that mindset, right? We too closed-minded in here. And we really need to sit there and depart from that. That's why I love Brandon's classes so much, because he is not in a box. He's not stagnant to anything he's doing. He's always finding ways to elevate every time, and not just elevate within poses. He always teaches people things within his classes. I love him so much that I'll be pissed off sometimes. I'll be missing Brandon's classes. And then as soon as he had Trap, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm definitely bringing Trap to Jersey. And now all of a sudden, Trap is just the movement. But I agree with you, bro. Like, we really need to stop being in this mindset. It's not about race. It's not about what color you are. It's not black, white, yellow, blue, orange. It's about spirits. It's about your integrity. It's about your character. Like, stop adding things that do not need to be added within this practice. People bring all this stuff, this narration. Why? We didn't ask you for it, and we damn sure didn't send for you.
I mean, I can understand why people do that. That's why there's a reason people have Brittany and Justin yoga classes and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I think yoga is like, it's like water, you know, like I could use it to, like, have you ever seen those videos where they take like a bar of steel and they like cut it with water and it's like going right through? But then I can make, I could rain on you. I could mist. Like water is yoga, the practice itself is so flexible that you can imprint your blackness on it. I don't think it's a problem. I just do want us to feel as if we can be purists. And I think that that's something that we often feel as if we have to do differently because we can't experience it. And the practice is just a beautiful one that will allow for you to trade something on it, but will also teach you from the base. You know, teach you from I just have nothing. And so, yeah, we're coming to the end of our talk. I don't want to overgo it because it'll cut us off. And so, do you have any plugs that you want to plug? You want to plug your pluggables? Anything anything pluggable you got? Drop it in there.
Plug your pluggables.
Black Boys Own, Black Boys Own, Black Boys Own, BlackBoysOwn.org. That's it. How about you, Ty? Shout out to Ty.
Like I said, y'all already following my business page now. Thank y'all for everybody that's tuning in. This is Yoga Every Day's business page. My personal page is IAMTYDAYE. That's IAMTYDAYE. I was telling y'all about my clothing line. Oh, also to let y'all know, my website is actually about to drop, everydayyoga.com. Be prepared for that. But I don't really want to put the shine on me as much. If you're following me, you'll just find out. You know what I mean? One thing about it is hustlers move in silence. We don't sit there and have to voice stuff, or we let our success do the talking. So just look at my actions, not what I'm saying. And then I'm right now, I'm just happy that this is Black Boys Own. I'm BBO for life. Know what I mean? Anything that I'm saying, it all started with Black Boys Own. Black Boys Own gave me the platform to make all these things happen. Black Boys Own gave all these other brothers the initiative to just become something and to show that we have this space, that any brother, doesn't matter what your pronoun is, doesn't matter what your color is, we accept everybody as long as you're coming with good intentions and a positive mind and a positive heart. So at the end of the day, if you want to know about my plugs, just follow Black Boys Own, because at the end of the day, they celebrate everybody. And that's a bar right there.
Big bars, big bars, big bars. Well, it was good talking with you, brother. It was great to do this first podcast. We'll be back on the first Friday of January, so blessings to y'all. If there is anything changing, you can, of course, check it out on blackboysown.org or check it out on our Instagram. So I love you guys. It was great to talk with you, and I will talk with you soon. Big peace.
Peace.